welcome to my channel, to another video. Today's video is a part 2 of my most popular video, and it's a book recommendation video, specifically closed door romance novels. I uploaded a part 1 where I talked about some of my favourite romance novels that are considered closed door romance novels. I'm shocked that so many people loved that video, and thank you for that. I did mention in that video that I was going to film a part 2. There might even be a part 3, I don't know, just because there's a lot of books I still haven't read that are on my TBR. I would like to read them and then recommend them to you if they're good. So we're going to start off with the ones I read, and the first one is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. This book is, in general, this is such a good book. I know it's a YA book, but I think it's just perfect for all ages, and I've seen it everywhere. I think it was very popular around Valentine's Day because it is centered around Valentine's Day, and it is such a good book. I'm so shocked. I even filmed a reading vlog for it specifically, and I'm pleasantly surprised. So this is a time loop story where the main character keeps waking up on Valentine's Day, and she wants the day to be perfect because, you know, Valentine's Day, she's been with her boyfriend for 3 months and she wants to tell him she loves him, but she catches him kissing someone else. There's also all these other bad things that happen in the day where it's just like the worst day ever for her. So she goes to sleep and she wakes up and it's February 14th again, and that keeps happening a couple times until it doesn't, and she keeps running into this character Nick. Their journey kind of begins. Yes, the ending is predictable, but it's just such a cute story, and the romance kind of begins at the end, just because, or like halfway through, that's when they actually interact more. But it's such a good book and I highly recommend in general. Next one is, I was hesitant if I should mention this book or not because it is like not a romance novel, it's a dystopian novel, and it's Shatter, the series. I do realise that a lot of like closed door romance books are YA books, but there's just not a lot out there that are really good, like good romance novels, so I'm gonna look out for more. And I read Shatter and I was just pleasantly surprised by the romance aspect of it. Yes, it's like a dystopian fictional novel. There's also like a love triangle. I only read the first book. I know it's a series that can put a lot of people off, and I know you may not be interested in that genre in general, but it is a book that is a closed door romance book because it is a YA book. I thought I'd mention that book here as well. Next one is How to Love Your Neighbour, and I read this quite a while back, but I am like 99% sure that it is a part of this category, and it's the Jensen Brothers series by Sophie Sullivan. But it's a story, or at least I think it's like behind closed doors, I don't know. So this is a story between Grace, who has inherited her family's house at the beach and she wants to renovate it, but then there's the neighbor who lives next door who wants to like expand his swimming pool, so he wants her house so he can expand his swimming pool. She's like, no, this is my house, I'm fixing it up, it is mine. And so there's like rivalry there, and they end up obviously dating towards the end mainly. I just thought it was a sweet story, even though I gave it 3 stars, but I just love the vibes of this book. It reminds me of like HGTV vibes because like she's fixing this house and there's this like reporter who's interested in the whole process, like because he hires someone and that person sees that they have like good banter, so she wants them to be on the show together, like her renovating her house. And yeah, I just thought it is a sweet story and I really enjoyed it. So I think the reason why I gave this book a 3 star is because I didn't like the main character, like the male character, because it's told in 2 perspectives and you get to like learn a lot about him, and I don't know why, but I didn't like him that much. But it is a good book and it's like a slow burn romance novel, so I do recommend it. Now the next book is The Flat Share by Beth OLeary, and I think all of her books are closed door. I wish she wrote more books because I really love her books. I recommend the 2 books that I've read, but I recommend them. This was such a cute story. So for some reason the 2 main characters end up sharing a flat, and there is only 1 bed, but it's okay because he's a doctor and he works the night shift, so she gets to sleep in the bed during the day and he sleeps there during the day when she's at work. And that's basically the story, and they end up like dating, of course. That's basically a story. That's the quickest summary there is. I really enjoyed this book. I think it was such a fun idea because I feel like the 1 bed trope is done a lot, and usually I don't like it, but here it was like really creative, just intriguing. The story as well, the characters, I loved them. Beyond the male character, he's such a sweetheart, and this book made me feel like fluffy in the sweet. Fluffy is, can I say that a book made me feel fluffy? It did. It is one of my favorite books like ever, and I gave it 5 stars, so that says a lot. I do think it's highly underrated, even though it has like been nominated for Best Romance in 2019. I just don't see it that often now, and I think it's so worth reading. The next book is Meet Me in the Margins. This book, I was so not expecting to love it so much, and I gave it 5 stars. So this is a story between a book editor and her boss, her new boss. So she's writing her own romance novel. She works at a publishing company that does not write romance, and she's writing a romance novel, and she one day leaves her manuscript in like the storage room, and he or someone ends up reading it and like annotating it. She has a deadline to get this manuscript done, and she needs help, so she uses the help of that mystery person to finish her manuscript. I don't think it's a big spoiler because like I think it's quite obvious that it's him, but this is such a slow burn story, and you like really get into their like world. Well, I was just like thinking, are they gonna meet now? Are they like gonna realize that it's them? Like, not me as in like, are they gonna realize it's them? Because they do have like moments throughout the book, and the main character doesn't suspect it's him. She suspects it's someone else, and she realizes she has feelings for her boss, so she has to like stop writing to this person. And it was just such a cute book, and the ending, I think it was perfect. Yeah, I highly recommend this book. I think it's so cute, and I really like enjoyed reading it, and it was entertaining a lot, because usually I'm not interested in like workplace romances and too many characters, and I don't know, but this, I really love this book. Next book is another one of my all-time favorite romance novels probably ever, and it's The Bodyguard. This book is about a main character who she's a bodyguard for celebrities, and she goes back to her job. She gets a new case where there's this celebrity who needs a bodyguard. She's assigned to him. However, he doesn't want his family to know that he needs a bodyguard because his mum is ill. I think she has cancer. She's receiving cancer treatment, so he doesn't want to worry her, and he goes back to his hometown a lot, and she has to go with him. So they pretend to fake date, pretending to be a couple, that's actually his girlfriend. Yeah, that's the story. It's a very strongly slow burn type of novel, and this one's like completely closed door, and I loved it so much. Like, it's such a cute story. It keeps you guessing right till the end, and it's so memorable to me, and it's just my favorite. And another romance book that I read most recently is Practice Makes Perfect. Now, we all know Sarah Adams, her books are all completely closed doors, so all of these, I guess, I recommend to you. So many of them are on my own TBR, and I read this one, and I think it has like hints to something, but it's like completely wonderful. And again, this is kind of similar to The Bodyguard, because we have Will, who is a bodyguard to her friend, which she's marrying her brother. The bodyguard comes back because of the wedding. She's a celebrity, her friend, so she needs security, and the main character is shy, quiet, and has no dating experience. So he agrees to be like her coach. He's going to like coach her how to behave on a first date, and like what to say and all of that. It was quite fun to read, although I wish there was more of that. I don't know why, it just felt like it was missing something, but it was great. And she's had a crush on him for forever. He realizes that he likes her too, and just the actual like romance is just so sweet. And it just, like, when I was reading this, I felt so positive and happy, and it's just so cute, and I love romance books like that. I'm just so happy it was a closed door romance book. I really enjoyed it. Like, it's one of my favorites, and it's so worth the hype because it's quite popular right now because it came out quite recently. Yeah, I highly recommend. There is, again, a couple that I have not read, so I'm going to mention some of them too. And in general, if you are looking for like completely closed door romances, a lot of Regency romance novels are like that. and that's why I like to read them. I think I read 2, but I don't remember now. There is a series, and it's the Eden Brooke series. It is on my TBR. I've got it on my Kindle and I'm really excited to read it. Eden Brooke, there are actually 2 books, so it's not really a big series. Marianne will do anything to escape the boredom of Bath and the amorous attentions of an unwanted suitor. So when an invitation arrives from her twin sister to join her at her sprawling country estate, she jumps at the chance, thinking she'll be able to relax and enjoy beloved English countryside with her sister. Like, that alone sounds wonderful. English countryside. So Marianne finds herself in an unexpected adventure filled with enough romance and intrigue to keep her mind racing, because she also has some sort of love interest, and it just sounds like, I love Regency romance books. I think I got cut off when speaking, so I don't remember what the last thing I said. There's a lot of Regency romance novels that are considered clean romance novels, and just so many of them sound so wonderful, and it's my new favourite genre, so I highly recommend. Another book by Beth OLeary. Again, I already mentioned her in this video, and this book is another one of those, and I've added it to my TBR as well. This is a story about 3 main characters, I believe there are 3 of them, who have been stood up on Valentine's Day, and they've all been stood up by the same man. Basically a story of them forgiving him, their story. So I'm really intrigued, because I feel like, what if they know and it's like all a plot? And I really enjoy Beth OLeary's books, so I can say that this is probably going to be a great book, and it's already got quite a lot of reviews on Goodreads, and it just sounds cute. Now, another one that is tagged as clean romance is Famous for a Living, and this book has actually come out like now. So this is a story about Kat, who has lots of followers on social media. She's a social media star. She gets a partnership deal that goes wrong, and I think that messes up her career. So her uncle agrees, or lets her stay with him, working at a small national park in Montana. She accepts, and she is hired as a new social media strategist, and her goal is to save the national park by boosting the amount of people that visit this national park. This is where we meet the male interest character, Zaya. I don't know how to say that name. He thinks that social media is the root of all the problems in the world. So kind of like enemies to lovers, I get the sense. And this book just sounds really interesting. I'm not really into like books about social media stars and celebrities, even though I've read quite a few of those. This one, like, the camp sounds interesting. Like, it sounds like a good book to read this summer, and it's titled as a clean romance, so I hope that that title is true. Okay, that would be it for this video, for my rambling. I hope you managed to find a new book for yourself. Like I said, I probably will one day film a part 3, just because there are probably lots of more books out there, and I'd be rambling for hours if I was to include them all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please stick around on my channel to hear more from me, and I'll see you in a new video.